Right, next game. Supposed to be 35 seconds. 30 seconds. Well, welcome back to West Coast Bombers All Day Derby. This is game 2. Game 2, Prime Cuts, which is the New Zealand over 40 Derby League. So everybody on the track is more than 40 years old. And it is Prime Cuts versus Prime Cuts. We have a black Prime Cuts team wearing black, and we have a gold, orange, white, and any other colours you may see. Poor officials forming Prime Cuts. And we're underway again. Missy Tiro and nobody for Prime Cuts. And Missy Tiro, Missy Tiro has got the lead jammer for Prime Cuts Black. And so this is sort of a internal derby game, having two complete teams. Two complete teams out of the one team, the one over 40 players team. So all these people have played with each other before. And there'll be a fair few people going, and getting confused and blocking the wrong person. Kamikaze comes to the back of track, but black Prime Cuts call the jam. And so Prime Cuts Black versus Prime Cuts Gold. The over 40 Derby team for New Zealand, Prime Cuts. And this is an internal gold, orange, white against the black. And the game did start late. I will apologise to all those people watching online at the live stream with Roller Derby Streaming NZ, because the game did start on time, but that was because Prime Cuts Black and Prime Cuts Gold were deciding who was going to be on which team. Way too much experience with the players once you're over 40. So many chiefs. And they will just be enjoying this friendly, in inverted commas, between the Prime Cuts teams. Hence why there was no rollout, because who knows who was on which team until 5 minutes after game time. But nobody, number 63, is pushing hard for the gold. Prime Cuts tries a nice apex cut, but doesn't quite make it. As Kamikaze is getting pushed out by Diamond. And nobody hits back, but Kamikaze for the black comes out as lead jammer, and nobody comes through. Also chasing, getting out of the pack for gold. And Kamikaze, callers call it, Kamikaze does so. 3 points to black, which makes it 6-3. Not quite as high scoring as the first 3 jams. Some would say that once you reach over 40, you are more efficient with your play. It's more about strategy. But having this many players in the prime cuts for New Zealand does show just how you can play derby. Anyone can play derby, big or small, young or old. It is a sport for everyone. As the gold jammer gets out. And a menace for gold is the lead jammer. Cut called on Bounty Hunter. It means it is a power jam for gold. As Menace is recycled back by bullets. Nice little tip there, but not quick enough for Filthy Haka. Yes. And Menace gets through Filthy Haka, but then hits against Crazy Crab. And power jam, Simba Rogers just ran at the line. As Bounty Hunter is back on. And both jammers are held in their respective packs. Bounty Hunter has got Besto, and she is assigned lead jammer as Simba Rogers is sent back by Filthy Haka. So Bounty Hunter again continuing her excellent form from this morning in the Orumataka game. As Simba Rogers does get out and hunts Bounty Hunter down. She calls a jam. 10 apiece. Prime Cuts Black versus Prime Cuts Gold. That one was an 8-point jam. I believe there's a timeout called by Black. When you're over 40, you use all your timeouts, I believe. Okay, timeout is over. Back on the track. Prime Cuts Black versus Prime Cuts Gold. So the Prime Cuts over 40 derby team here in New Zealand. It draws from all of the different roller derby leagues. So there are people from all of the different leagues here. As number 63, Nobody, and number 2, Kamikaze, have the jam line. They're both sitting against some very solid walls. Those 3 walls are solid and uninterrupted. Citra ass down sends Kamikaze back to the back, recycles. nobody just stays in, but no, it is sent back by McBain. It recycles back to McBain as nobody again comes up against that wall. And Bullets holding very, very strong, and McBain holding very, very strong. There's some offense by Citrus down as Kamikaze gets out for lead jammer. Oh, it was 45 seconds before those jammers got out. Very good work by the solid defence. 2 points to Black. A lot lower scoring game than the one we saw earlier. 16 points to Prime Cuts Black and 14 to Prime Cuts Gold. Close little game so far. We are into Jam 7. 9 minutes gone. Missy Tiro from the inside to the outside just scrambled through. There's a nice, another hit and quit. 20 points, Prime Cuts Black. 16 points, Prime Cuts Gold. I am Adrenaline Rush. I'm a skater here from the West Coast Bombers, here in Wanganui, New Zealand. We're in the bottom half of the North Island. A little town of 60,000 people. Wanganui, New Zealand. And I am super excited to be bringing you here some full contact derby after being way too long. Vengeful for Prime Cuts Black. Number 267 gets lead jammer for the Black team. And there's been a panty pass and Citrus down for Gold. Puts the panty on his head. As they don't need to bother the scorers. Another 4 points to Prime Cuts Black. It's just increments at the moment. Increments. 4 and 2 points at a time. It is a very, very different game from the game we've just seen, the West Coast Bombers squadron against the Rumataka Raptors, which was a very high scoring game. Whereas this one for Prime Cuts, the over 40 New Zealand Derby team, people who are over 40 years of age, and they are more studious. And there's a lot more gameplays. There's a lot of very experienced people out there. They know how to hold a person back and they know how to use every opportunity. As Missy Tero just goes on the inside. Gets 4 more points. It's been a very good round for Black. And she again just, everyone, Missy Tero there. That's the biggest jam so far of the game. 8 points and counting. Yeah, Missy Tero has a very successful. As there's been a panty pass. Prince Harming now has the jammer panty. He's going to pop that on his head. As Missy Tero does hit it and quit. Tries to get herself through as many too. Had some points onto the board. That was a much better, much more higher scoring jam this time. 15-point jam. 39 Prime Cuts Black to 16 Prime Cuts Gold. That's certainly, that 15-point jam certainly helped Prime Cuts Black. As Kamikaze lines up for Prime Cuts Black. as there's a pile on the floor. People are down, but they get back up. And Prime Cuts Black get a second in a row. Second, the lead jammer, Kamikaze. And Kamikaze just gets a fourth. There is Jammer Panties in the bin. Jammer Panties in hand for gold. And there has been a panty pass. Citra asked down as we grab the panty. And is now the jammer. But again, another 4-point jam. 6. I apologize. My apologies. 45-16. Prime Cuts Black. There were two very, very good jams there. As you are watching West Coast Bombers All Day Derby, this is game 2 of 3 games do we have today. Prime Cuts Gold versus Prime Cuts Black. And Prince Harming gets out for lead jammer for Prime Cuts Gold. Even though he's wearing white, I would not want to be a referee right now. There are 4 different colours worth of four different colours on the teams, on the gold team, just to make life more interesting for all our zebras out there who we do love so dearly. Could not do it without you. Uh, 45 Prime Cuts Black versus 20 points Prime Cuts Gold. And we're getting some recycling. Kamikaze for Prime Cuts Black and Nobody for Prime Cuts Gold. Both of these jammers are just getting pushed out and recycled. As Prime Cuts Gold gets a jammer in the bin, blocker in the bin. You will have to forgive me a little bit for the names because yeah, these teams were, I did have a lineup, it got changed. I'm struggling. Paddy Wacker is Prime Cuts Gold in the bin. It was a directional play, I believe. As Kamikaze and Nobody are both hitting and recycling back. McBain's recycling Nobody right to the back as Paddy Wacker just comes up behind McBain. And Crazy Crab comes back for a penalty for Black. So these are teams, this is basically an intra-team derby game. This bout is intra-team. So Prime Cuts Gold and Prime Cuts Black, these people play together. They know each other. They hit no more nor less than they normally would. And Vengeful has gone into the bin, so it is a power jam to Prime Cuts Gold. And they'll have a power start too, as Vengeful is still sitting in the bin. As Nobody comes back, takes his seat. So Prime Cuts Gold will have a power start. I tell a lie, it's not actually a... just to clarify, Vengeful is actually in the bin as a pivot, not a jammer, so not actually a power start. I think they're just going to check that. Okay, the officials are just going to review that because there is a little bit of confusion, I think, as to where Vengeful was located, whether he was the jammer or the pivot when he went into the bin. So whether it's a power start for a jammer or just having one blocker in the bin. So I think the officials are just going to check that. While I'm here, while we're waiting for the officials to decide what the story is with that, I just want to again welcome you to West Coast Bombers, Wanganui, New Zealand, our all-day derby bout. It is so good to have everybody here. My name is Adrenaline Rush, and I am delighted, thrilled, ecstatic, excited, deliriously happy to be here and be with my peoples again and be playing derby, hitting people and hugging people in equal measures. And to be able to do that makes me very, very grateful. West Coast Bombers, Wanganui, anyone who's sitting up there thinking, this looks like interesting stuff. We have a cadets class starting at the moment, so anybody is welcome. All sizes, all shapes, all colours, all styles, all beliefs, all people. As long as you're not a dick, then you are welcome to come and join roller derby. You do not need to know how to skate. We will teach you that. You do not need to know how to play derby. We will teach you that. But you do need to know how to have a good time and enjoy yourself. But we'll teach you some of that as well. So come down and see any of us. We are very, very welcoming people. We're nice. We don't bite. We're not allowed to. It's illegal. We do push, but not with our hands. And we might push you over, but not with our hands. And you will enjoy being able to hit people. It is so much fun. Come down and give it a go. There is nothing to lose. Okay, so that official review, what happened there was Gold had an official review requesting that Vengeful received a second penalty for an illegal panty pass. However, as Vengeful did not put the jammer panty on his head, it was deemed not an illegal pass, and Gold have lost their official review. There was no second penalty applied. So Vengeful does sit as a blocker. It is not a power jam start. And so we have both of those jammers on the jammer line. A Bounty Hunter and Menace. Bounty Hunter found a gap out of nowhere, straight out. The Menace is hunting her down. Remember, this is over 40s derby. Big hit there. Big hit there on Kelter Skelter. But she's up, back into it. 46 to Prime Cuts Black and 28 Prime Cuts Gold. 11 and a half or so minutes to go in the first half. Much lower scoring game than what we've just seen earlier with the West Coast Bombers against Rimataka Raptors. As Missy Tero finds the line on the outside for lead jammer for the black team. There's a multiplayer is called. And Crystal Crusher sits the multiplayer. And Missy Tero calls the game, calls the jam. Uh, 54-30. Prime Cuts Black just have 24 points in it at the moment. They're just eking it out, point by point. It is still very much anybody's game. And the jam line is gone, but Kamikaze and Filthy Waka both holding on the jam line, and Citra Arstown does take that lead jam, runs through, but Kamikaze straight behind. And not too sure what happened there. I know Citra Arstown tried to call the game, but I believe Citra Arstown was not lead jammer, potentially. I'm not too sure what happened there, I'm sorry. And Vengeful for black, Menace for gold, wearing white. And Menace gets Menace's lead jammer, I believe. As Vengeful heads to the bin. So it is a power jam for Prime Cuts Gold. They will want to take advantage of this, try and get some points on the board to bridge this gap. Nice little apex jump. As Menace goes into the wall. There's offense, there's bodies everywhere. Eight points Prime Cuts Gold for that one. 61-38. It's still anybody's game. And remembering these people are all over 40. And it is a power jam. Missy Tero gets a penalty and immediately jumps to the bin. So just making sure that the black team don't have to hold Simba Rogers for too much longer, but he does get out and get Lee Jammer. Oh, body's on the floor. Simba Rogers pushes through. That's Prime Cuts Gold, just try and put those points on. Had two good jams. Missy Tito's back on for Prime Cuts Black. And she gets recycled by nobody. But is given another cut as the jam is called, so it will be a power start to Gold. Gold has called a timeout. The Prime Cuts players do take their timeouts. They are smart, they know. They know. Just making sure that they make sure they are efficient. They use the game plan to their advantage. Take the timeouts. And they will know the other team as well because they play with each other. They play together. Regularity, this is a inter-team game. Prime Cuts. Giving some game away. Tactics. Always tactics with these oldies. And nobody comes up against McBain. Gets the better of McBain, but there is a wall there of black players. Filthy Hawker kicks him out. Recycles him back as he has another go, and again it's hit outside. Recycled by McBain. And again recycled out. As Missy Tito comes on, so both jammers back on the field. And they run it. Black teams run the jam as nobody does finally get out as lead jammer. But Diamond and X-Ray both go and take a seat for Gold, sorry. Prime Cuts Gold have now two blockers in the bin. So Prime Cuts Black, Missy Tito, just the two blocks left on the track for Gold. As Vengeful, the pivot for Prime Cuts Black, and Missy Tito for Prime Cuts Black go take two leave and two enter the bin. It is power jam now. Nobody for Prime Cuts Gold wants to try and make the most of it. Up against Filthy Hawker. And then McBain. Brick wall of McBain. Nobody had nowhere to go, but McBain did get a penalty for that, so we'll take a seat. As nobody who is lead jammer does let the jam counter jump down. As the jam counter has finished, but it has not called the game. I'm not too sure what the story is with that. The officials have just called a review. They're just going to check that. I think that's about the timing issue with the jam timer counting down, I think. I will check that. There's 69 points Prime Cuts Black, 54 points Prime Cuts Gold. Just the officials checking stuff. All good, no change. As 73 points to 54. I stand corrected. 3.5 minutes to go in period 1. As Kamikaze lines up for Black and Menace lines up for Prime Cuts Gold and is hit out very nicely by Bounty Hunter, which allowed Kamikaze to come through on the inside and take the lead jammer. And Prince Harming's heading back in for gold. Kamikaze calls the jam. A 1 point apiece. And Prime Cuts Black don't appear to have a pivot out there that I can see, but Prime Cuts Black have got Vengeful out as lead jammer, so they won't need one, hopefully. As Simba Rogers comes around, but Vengeful takes the 4 points and calls it quits. It's 78-55, still anybody's game. 1 minute 40 to go in the first half. As Citra asked down for the gold players. Up against his normal teammate, Smurf Threat in Black. But he does get lead jammer. As Kamikaze, nobody was just sending her back, recycling. She was having a bit of a laugh with him as Citra Arsdown gets through but goes out and needs to get recycled in behind McBain. As Gold lose a player to a penalty. Scrappy, 81. Scrappy goes to the bin as Gold in the form of Citra Arsdown tries to put on a few more points on the board. This has been a very good jam so far for Gold. Eking back those points. Uh, 10 points for Gold for that jam. 78-65, just a 13 points in it. As intermission is called. The players are happy about that. Go and eat have some oranges, have a sit down. In the case of some of these players, maybe have some Panadol, some Nurofen, some Advil. Half time, 15 minutes. I want to put some music on and see you again in 15. Come on. It's back on for the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm welcoming you back. Second half of this West Coast Bombers from Wanganui in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Our all-day derby event. This game you're watching is Prime Cuts. It is a Prime Cuts, which is New Zealand's over 40 years old team. So every skater on this track is over 40. And we've got Prime Cuts Black versus Prime Cuts Gold. And of course, half of these people in Prime Cuts Gold don't know what colour gold is. We've got orange, we've got white, we've got gold shirts. The umpires, the officials, the refs, our zebras will be having a nightmare. But also, you can't tell people who are over 40 what to do. Okay, as we're underway, once again, second half, Vengeful just pushes on through for Prime Cuts Black as Simba Rogers just pushes on and does get out of the pack. No, he doesn't. He gets recycled back as Vengeful quits past some goal players, calls it, gets his 4 points, sorry. For Prime Cuts Black, but no, I tell a lie, it is a power jam to Black, so this will be a full 2-minute jam. These old people don't like the full 2-minute jams. Oh, they are long, but Simba Rogers was still on the track for gold as Vengeful takes a seat in the box for 30 seconds. And Simba Rogers gets some points for gold and passes as Vengeful comes back onto the track with 55 seconds still to go in the jam. And Vengeful gets some more points. Good jam for Prime Cuts, even though it is going to be a long one, going the full 2-minute jam. Vengeful was able to put some more points on. As a high tackle is called on Simba Rogers, and he heads to the bin. I believe Simba Rogers is still the jammer, so Prince Harming comes back. And both Simba Rogers and Prince Harming in the bin for gold, so it will be a power start, I believe. I think the officials are just going to check. There was a panty pass there, but I'm not too sure whether it was successful. Head ref is just having a check with the teams now. Okay, so just confirming that Simba Rogers is in the penalty box as the jammer, and Prince Harming is in the penalty box as the pivot. So it will be a power start to this jam, to Prime Cuts Black. And Kamikaze makes the most of it. Just sit your ass down to go. And does get through, and is lead jammer. So Simba Rogers gets back on and gets through for his first pass. Prince Harming returns also as Kamikaze calls the jam. Two points, Prince Harming. Oh, he did very well, picking up 2 points before the fourth whistle. 98 points to Prime Cuts Black and 72 points to Prime Cuts Gold. As Black just throws on an extra player, Kyson at the last minute. Menace pushing hard up against for the gold team. Is pushed down a couple of times, held by a very strong forwall. As Vengeful tries his best to get through the gold forwall. Sam I Am takes the seat. But out for gold. Menace gets the lead jammer out for gold. Vengeful follows closely at hand. It is a very, very close game. 16 points in it. 14 points in it. My maths isn't great. And Menace calls the game, calls the jam from the floor. Gets up. It's a very hard fall, but she's okay. As Prime Cuts Black is calling for a review. The captains are calling to go and see the head ref, and they'll discuss what has happened. Once again, whilst take this opportunity to thank everybody for coming and watching. Thank you very much to Aotearoa, who are selling Derby gear in the corner. Thank you to all of our officials here at West Coast Bombers. We appreciate you immensely. We could not do it without you. We are so glad you are here. We are so glad and happy and excited and ecstatic to be able to do this and hit each other and hug each other, and it has been too long and it is great to be back. I want to thank Roller Derby Streaming NZ, who are live streaming this. And I am Adrenaline Rush. I will be your commentator today by default, because no one else wants to do it. So that gets to be my job. I will make mistakes. I can only apologise. But I am happy to be bringing you some Derby on behalf of the West Coast Bombers in Wanganui, New Zealand. All right. Kamikaze pushing up against the wall. Simba Rogers, gets through but gets knocked out and recycled by Filthy Hawker. Crusher and Filthy Hawker up against Simba Rogers. Another one in the bid for gold. 2 blockers only on the field for gold, but black team has got lead jammer and will call it. As there is 1 blocker still in the box for gold. They'll start with 3. You're watching Prime Cuts. Prime Cuts, which is the New Zealand over 40s Derby team. Derby is for everyone, all ages, all colours, all sizes, all styles, all beliefs. It is for everyone. Prime Cuts black, 102 to Prime Cuts gold, 74. Missy Tero just flying to get the lead jammer. And she does. As nobody is recycled back to the pack. And finds a line, but outside. It does get sent back and recycled by Crazy Crabbers. Missy Tero gets through, gets 4 more points. And Missy Tero calls the jam. "23 minutes to go in this Prime Cuts versus Prime Cuts. Friendly. I call it friendly in inverted commas because we are always friendly. Mostly, when we're not hitting each other. Menace and Kamikaze on the jam line, just kind of holding there. As Menace tries to find a spot on the inside, Kamikaze tries to find a spot on the outside. Both jammers are held. Nice little dance by Filthy Hawker and Menace. Oh, shall we dance, they say. As Kamikaze from the ground. Filthy Hawker bounces back. Menace hits the wall again and finds a spot, but is hit out. Kamikaze. And in the back of the wall again. I am not too sure if Kamikaze has been given lead jammer or if she was just recycled. I'm sorry, I missed that. I don't think either of these jammers have got out yet. As Filthy Hawker and Menace is still there's been a panty pass. Menace has passed over to X-Ray, and X-Ray now the jammer, following him behind Kamikaze, who is lead jammer. As the pack starts to move, Kamikaze calls it. Oh, 112 to 76. Black has just had a couple of very good jams just to take that lead away a little bit. The officials checking something there for a second. We're back on now. Nobody and Missy Tero lining up on, oh, not nobody, I apologise. Simba Rogers and Missy Tero lining up on the jam line. Simba Rogers in white. Missy Tero in black. And Black get the lead jammer again. Missy Tito gets out. Simba Rogers chasing her down. McBain and Citra Astown just having a bit of a tussle down the back of the pack. As Simba Rogers hits the back of the backpack, and it is called. Friendly over 40s team. Prime Cuts versus Prime Cuts. Friend versus friend. It's always more fun to be able to hit your friends. And Kamikaze on the inside. Prince Harming on the inside. Takes a flying fall. It is recycled back. Kamikaze in a big old block. Some offense from Filthy Waka. Kamikaze comes to the outside. Prince Harming up against. But Kamikaze has the lead for Prime Cuts Black as Prince Harming is recycled back. Filthy Waka kicks him out and recycles Prince Harming back again. As Kamikaze comes in and gets her hips past some players, but is recycled back as well. This is very demoralizing as both Shipster and Filthy Waka recycle people back. Prince Harming's taken the panty off and is passed the panty to Nobody, who is now the new jammer. He will put the panty on his head as Kamikaze still in that back of that pack, calls it. $18 to go in Prime Cuts Black versus Prime Cuts Gold. My name is Adrenaline Rush. You are watching the West Coast Bombers All Day Derby. This is the West Coast Bombers' first derby bout since lockdown. There is just an extra special amount of joy in being able to hit each other today as Menace pushes through. He gets lead jammer for gold. With Bounty Hunter in the black for back. In the back for black. Menace spins, gets some points, but also gets a penalty. It's a cut penalty. So it is a power jam for black, and it will be a full 2-minute jam. We don't get too many full 2-minute jams with the these over 40 players because that is a lot. It is a long time for derby players who are over 40. But there has been a panty pass. Vengeful. Vengeful drops the panty and does need to come back and grab that. Otherwise, if he doesn't have the panty on his head, any points he gets will not count. He puts the panty on his head so his points will count, but no one will be able to call this one. This one's going to be a full 2 minutes long. As their lungs start to hurt after a certain age. As Menace takes a nasty fall, but again, back up. The jam clock is counting down. A nasty hit on Menace. Okay, it's going to be a power start to gold. There is a timeout called by Gold. As you see, you will see the timeouts being used by these over 40 players because over 40. And this is just a timeout, so it's a 1 minute where teams can just recoup, think about things, rest, recover, take a drink, breathe. We are 3/4 of the way through this Prime Cuts Derby. It's a derby because Prime Cuts is playing Prime Cuts. We have a black team and a gold team, but these are the same team, the over 40s roller derby team for New Zealand. These are experienced players, experienced derby players. They know what they're doing. It doesn't mean they do it right, but they do know. As Citra Arstown comes up against Filthy Whaka, pushes on the outside and is pushed out by a nice little move by Smurf Threat and Filthy Whaka. Basically, Filthy Whaka just pushed Smurf Threat at Citra Arstown. As Vengeful waits to be returned to the field, to the play. And Citra Arstown has got the lead jammer full gold. As both jammers are back on the play, back on the track. And Citra Arstown is recycled. It's Filthy Vengeful comes through. Citra Arstown calls the jam, and that one ends. 4 points apiece. 127 to Prime Cuts Gold, Black, and 87 to Prime Cuts Gold. By my count, and I used to be good at maths, but I'm not all that good nowadays. That's a 40-point. Still anybody's game. 40-point advantage as Panties over being passed. It seems there is no pivot for the black team, so they have no alternative jammer. As I say, these are very, very experienced players, but just because they're experienced doesn't mean they play correctly. As we have Prime Cuts Black versus Prime Cuts Gold /orange/white. Simba Rogers gets recycled by Filthy Whaka and hits the wall again. These walls are and is able to push through, but just outside. And Missy Tito gets out. She's lead jammer. Black team has lead jammer as Simba Rogers is recycled back to the back of the pack. As Missy Tito gets 4 points, gets her hips past 4 people. 4 more points added to the black team score. And there has been a panty pass. X-Ray takes over. Gold is happy about that. So the pivot for Gold gets hold of the panty and is the new jammer. Good jam for Prime Cuts Black there. 8 points for that jam, 135 to 87. With 11.5 points to go. Oh, Menace and Nobody working together beautifully with Crazy Crab stuck in the middle. Menace gets out for gold. Kamikaze chasing it down. Crazy Crab takes a spill, but she gets up. The call of "come on you old farts" comes out from the team. Minutes to go, 10.5 minutes to go. Missy Tiro for Black and Citra ass down for Gold. Gold has got the lead jammer. Citra ass down, it's got out. Missy Tiro still in the back of quite a solid Sam I Am, Scrappy. And Simba Rogers just holding Missy Tiro, but she does get out. Diamond has a good old crack at her, but she does get out as Citras down. Tries an apex jump. But Citras down, has to sit his ass down because there was a cut called. He did go outside the track as jammer, so it is a power jam to Missy Tiro. And the offense starts, so Missy Tiro is able to put some points on. And this will be, again, a full 2-minute jam. As Citras down returns to the track. And Missy Tiro gets out with some beautiful blocking by Smurf to give us some space. Fulvey Hocker and Smurf and holding that Citra down, but he gets through. As Scrappy takes the seat for the penalty bin. And both jammers hit into very nice walls, but the jam clock counts down. Another 2-minute jam there. This will be starting to hurt. These people are old. Good jam again for Prime Cuts Black. Only 1 point in it, 12 points jam to 11-point jam. As we're underway again, Kamikaze for Black and Nobody for Prime Cuts Orange. Gold. My bad, gold. Kamikaze goes to take a seat in the bin. It is a power jam to Prime Cuts Gold. They are on 99. They'll want to get into the triple digits with Nobody getting recycled back. Prime Cuts Black just happy to let him sit in the back there. As McBain takes a seat. And Nobody hits the floor, but again, Kamikaze joins into the fray. Nobody is lead jammer. As it is another power jam. As Kamikaze comes in and takes another seat. It is another Power Jam to Prime Cuts Gold. McBain joins the pack. Nice little skip by nobody. And beautiful blocking, finds a space in the middle, but is recycled back as Kamikaze joins back into the game. Both jammers back on the track, 147 to 103. Okay, Black starting with Vengeful, number 267 in the bin, so they'll one blocker down. And Scrappy for the gold is also in the bin, so one blocker down apiece. As Bounty Hunter as Filthy Pucker gets called to pull off his pivot, so he stows that because we can't have two pivots on for the black team. So both fills there for the black team. Both of them fill, Vengeful and Filthy Hawker. Both had the pivot on. But we're back underway. Kamikaze and Simba Rogers. This is frenetic pace. Sam I Am brings back Kamikaze to recycle, and she hits the wall. Diamond makes a better wall than she makes a window, and both of these jammers just held back, although Kamikaze seems to have got through. Yes, Kamikaze gets through. She is lead jammer for black, 153 to 111. 111 is the emergency number in here in New Zealand. We do have our first aid people here. We have had a jammer panty pass, so nobody in the jammer for gold. But Kamikaze calls it off. 111 for Prime Cuts Gold is our emergency number here in New Zealand. We want fire, ambulance or police to come see you. Call 111. We are very grateful also for our emergency medics who come and hang out with us for these derby games. Whenever we have the emergency medics here with their beautiful stretcher, we never have any injuries. So I'm touching wood. This remains as Menace gets out. The lead jammer followed very closely by Vengeful. But Vengeful has been assigned a cut penalty, so he will come and take a seat for 30 seconds. It is a power jam for gold. Menace hits hard into Crystal Crusher. Both skaters end up on the floor, but 4 more points added to gold. And Menace just pushes through. As this power jam, gold will be wanting to try and add some points. Still anybody's game. There's only 2 minutes to go, but there is only, by my count, 31 points, 33 points in it as gold continue. As Crusher comes to take a seat in the bin for black. Menace adds some more. 12, 16 points and counting from this jam for Prime Cuts Gold. 43 seconds still to go. 127 to 156. It is going to come down to the last couple of jams as McBain for Black takes the seat. 2 blockers for Black out. So Menace continuing to run this. And Menace hits the 2 wall and gets helped by the offense and comes out 24 points and counting from this jam for Menace. Very happy people from the gold bench as 28 points jam for Menace. That is exceptionally good. 28 points to 0 jam for Menace for the gold team. Put them right back in the race. 156 to 139 with 33 seconds to go. This is Prime Cuts versus Prime Cuts. Our New Zealand over 40 derby team. So these players play against each other and with each other all the time. The officials are just checking. He will start. It's 13 seconds of normal time. Prime Cuts Gold really want to get this lead so they can hold it. Missy Tiro, nobody for the gold. And Missy Tito for Prime Cuts. Missy Tito out. Prime Cuts Black has lead jammer. Black team will be very happy with that as the clock timer has run out. So nobody is out of the pack, but as lead jammer, Missy Tito can call it at any time. And Missy Tito adds 4 more points to the scoreboard. Just makes it a little bit harder as nobody comes through also. So Black have command of this game. Missy Tito. Another 4 points. After the exceptionally good jam on the right before. As Missy Tito once again just cruising through. 16 points. As happy to just keep this going. As Missy Tito is just clocking up the points. As the timer has run out. And Missy Tito adds 4 more points. That's 20 points so far. As nobody's just being held. Handy pass. Sam I Am, now jammer for gold. Missy Tito trying to go for the 24. She got 24 points. That was exceptionally good. 25 points. 2 very, very high scoring. Unofficial score, 181 Prime Cuts Black to 146 Prime Cuts Gold. And this will be a very good team photo as Prime Cuts versus Prime Cuts. These guys play against each other. They know each other. And I just invite everybody, if you are sitting in the stands, please come down and greet the